If you're interested in glowing up, then I'm Celeste Glow, and this is Brave Enough. Everyone talks about being abused like the hard part is surviving it. I don't think that's true. If you're still breathing, then you already survived it. If you lived through it, you're physically on the other side of it, and you did what you had to do to survive. The hardest part is what comes after, the silence afterwards, the emptiness afterwards, the moment life calms down and you realize your body never did. Because trauma does not end when the situation ends. People leave, court cases end, protection orders are granted, you move houses, you block numbers, you change your friends, you survive. But your nervous system, your mind, your body, they keep living like the danger is still in the room. And nobody really prepares us for that. Nobody prepares us for grieving ourselves while we're still alive. Because trauma steals things, not just relationships, not just safety. It steals parts of you, your peace, your softness, your confidence, your trust, your ability to relax, your ability to believe that people mean what they say. Trauma turns ordinary things into threats. A delayed reply suddenly feels dangerous. Silence feels loaded. Calm feels suspicious. Love feels risky. Rest feels uncomfortable. And panic feels normal. You stop reacting to life as it is, and you start to reacting to life based on what hurt you before. And that changes people. It changes the way you love, the way you speak, the way you trust, the way you walk into a room, the way you sleep, the way you think about yourself. Some people, like me, become louder after trauma. Some disappear completely. Sometimes we become angry, and sometimes we're emotionally numb. Often we become hyper independent because depending on people once destroyed us. And the scary part is survival mode works. That's why people stay there. Survival mode gets you through meetings, through parenting, through work, through conversations, through responsibilities. You can be deeply traumatized and still highly functional. That's why so many people miss it. They think if someone is coping externally, they must be healing internally because they are laughing and smiling and they are immersed in happiness. But functioning isn't healing. A lot of people are performing stability while privately falling apart. And underneath trauma sits grief, massive grief. Not just for what happened, for what it changed. Grief for years lost to survival mode. Grief for relationships trauma destroyed. Grief for a version of yourself that existed before pain reshaped your personality. Grief for your shattered soul and dissolved identity. And survivors, we are often grieving lives that we never got to fully live. And honestly, I think we need to normalize that because grieving after trauma is not weakness. It's not being stuck. It's not attention seeking. It's not negativity. It's just a part of healing. Of course, there's grief after trauma because you lost things, parts of yourself that are almost indescribable and hard to vocalize. And you can't heal honestly while pretending you are untouched by what happened to you. The problem is society loves survivors who heal quickly and quietly. People are comfortable with the inspirational version of survival, not the real version, not the rage, not the panic attacks, not the emotional shutdown, not the exhaustion, not the part where trauma changes your personality so much that you don't recognize yourself anymore. People love saying you survived, but they really ask, what did survival cost you? Because that's the real conversation. Because survival costs things. It costs you your sleep. It costs you relationships. It costs nervous system regulation, trust, identity. It costs you years. And if you ignore it, let me tell you, it doesn't go away because grief catches up with you. That's why you see people suddenly collapsing emotionally years later. That's why burnout happens. That's why people who look strong suddenly fall apart. Because suppressed grief does not disappear, it waits. And healing gets romanticized far too much. No one would ever believe that what you've been through because you look so good, so strong, so together. But society expects that from survivors. In fact, society puts a huge weight of responsibility and accountability on survivors' shoulders. What society doesn't realize is healing is not always peaceful. Sometimes healing is grief, and sometimes it's anger. And sometimes it's sitting in your car crying because your body finally feels safe enough to fall apart. Sometimes healing is admitting this affected me more than I want to admit. And maybe that's the hardest thing, acknowledging the impact. Because once you stop minimizing it, you have to grieve it. You have to face it. You have to grieve the version of you that never got protected properly. The years you spent surviving instead of living. The relationships shaped by fear. The choices made from trauma instead of freedom. The grief is real. And I think we need to stop treating grief like it only belongs at funerals. Because people grieve divorces, childhoods, abuse, betrayal, lost identity, lost safety, lost time, lost future. And if we normalize grief more, maybe people would stop feeling ashamed for struggling after trauma. Because grief is not proof you are failing. Grief is proof something mattered. Healing actually starts when people stop pretending they're okay, when they stop performing strength, when they stop rushing themselves, when they stop trying to heal in a way that makes other people feel comfortable. Real healing usually starts with honesty. This hurt me. This changed me. I'm grieving. I'm angry. I'm exhausted. In fact, I don't know who I am anymore. The honesty matters. And healing does not mean becoming the person you were before your trauma. That person is gone. Trauma changes people. Pain changes people. Grief changes people. The goal is not to erase the experience. The goal is not to become untouched again. The goal is to stop building your entire identity around survival, because survival kept you alive. But at some point, you deserve more than survival. You deserve your life becoming yours again. So the question is, are you brave enough to grieve? If you or someone you know needs help, contact the Tears Foundation on 08000 83277 24/7, free and confidential. If this meant anything to you, if it touched you or made you learn and grow, then maybe you want to like, follow, or share it with someone who might need it. I'll see you next week. Be brave enough.